Welcome to The Explainer, where today we're going to untangle a really profound philosophical puzzle right from the heart of Mahayana Buddhism. And this is a big one, a real head-scratcher that seems to pit two of its most important scriptures against each other in what looks like a total contradiction.
Okay, let's dive right in. On one hand, you've got the super famous Heart Sutra, and it gives us this core teaching. There is no attainment. I mean, that's a radical idea, right? Let go of the goal itself. But then you have the equally revered Lotus Sutra, which seems to say the exact opposite. It promises that a Buddha's whole purpose is to lead all of us to attain Buddha wisdom.
Yeah, so we're not just splitting hairs over wording here. This is a central paradox. One text says there's absolutely nothing to get. The other says, don't worry, everyone's going to get it. So how on earth can both of these be true? Let's unpack this thing.
All right, so to even begin to crack this, we've got to get to know our two main players here. Because they don't just have different messages, they use completely different philosophical approaches to get their points across. So the Heart Sutra uses what philosophers call the via negativa, the path of negation. You can almost think of it like this. The Heart Sutra is a sculptor chipping away every single thing that isn't the final statue to reveal what's already inside. The Lotus Sutra, though, it's more like a painter, using the via transformativa. It adds layers, revealing a bigger, ultimate reality that doesn't get rid of anything, but includes and reframes it all.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. The key to unlocking this whole paradox, it turns out, isn't just in the philosophy. The real clue is buried in this wild historical plot twist that completely changes how you see their relationship. So take a guess. Which one do you think came first? You know, your gut might tell you that the negating text, the Heart Sutra, came later, to correct or refine the other one, like it's the advanced course. But the history tells a totally different story.
And boom, here's the twist. The Lotus Sutra is centuries older. While it started in India, what scholars are pretty sure about now is that the Heart Sutra was actually composed in China, probably in the 7th century. That's long after the Lotus Sutra was already a huge, well-established scripture all across Asia.
I mean, we're talking about a gap of roughly 700 years. That's huge. And what this means is that the Heart Sutra wasn't written in some kind of vacuum or to argue with the Lotus Sutra. It was created in a world where the Lotus Sutra's ideas were already in the air. And that context, you guys, that changes everything.
So knowing this timeline, it points us right to the master key to solve this whole thing. And believe it or not, that key comes from a central idea found inside the older text, the Lotus Sutra itself.
And that key is this incredible concept called upaya, which basically means skillful means. The Lotus Sutra explains that all these different teachings, even the ones that seem to contradict each other, aren't opposing truths. Nope, they're just different tools, different methods, skillfully designed for different moments. But all of them are meant to get you to the same place, the one vehicle of Buddhahood.
So think about it like this. The Heart Sutra is actually a powerful, skillful means. It's like its job is to come in and just clear the ground. It dismantles our attachments to ideas, to our concepts, including our attachment to the very idea of attainment. And that creates this open, prepared mind, ready for the Lotus Sutra's grand revelation, the affirmation of the ultimate reality that, guess what, was there the whole time. And you can see this play out perfectly when you put their core ideas side by side. Where the Heart Sutra breaks reality down to emptiness, the Lotus Sutra affirms its concrete details, the 10 suchnesses, which is just a way of talking about the nitty-gritty characteristics of existence. One talks about a timeless reality, the other about an eternal one. They aren't opposed at all. It's a perfect 1-2 punch of preparation and revelation.
So what we end up with isn't a contradiction at all. It's this beautiful, elegant, unified vision that makes the whole paradox just disappear.
And this is where the paradox just dissolves. It's beautiful. They're not two different destinations. They're two doorways into the very same room. The Heart Sutra is the skillful tool that negates what you think you are, that limited, false self you cling to. And the Lotus Sutra is the revelation that affirms what you actually are, that true, universal nature that was always there, just waiting for you to see it. I love how our source material puts it. The author says, the two sutras, like two wings of one bird, have carried you to this moment of presence. They're not fighting. They are working in perfect harmony. They're the two essential wings that you need for the flight of real understanding. And really, that leaves us with a pretty powerful thought to chew on. How often do we see things in our own lives as total contradictions? You know, emptiness and fullness, striving and just letting go. Maybe, just maybe, all those paradoxes we see out there are really just invitations to find a higher, more unified perspective that can hold both truths at once.